Okay, in this video, we're going to reproduce you some literature study for the educations of Mandarin. It has refers to a paper of a psychological review in 1982 by Dr. Carpenter and another paper review by Reading and Writing Quarterly, Overcoming Learning Difficulties by Dr. Koplak and Smogorensky. The first class examples that they were trying to introduce you is about changing the climate. And the first class is a description like the following. If we could blowing winds, summer raining, how good will it be? And if we have to listen to the president's lecturing every morning, when it will be, if there will be some raining after 3 minutes, then we don't have to do that. Then after that, the sun just comes out. Then how good will it be? So this is some motivation for children who are a little bit lazy for that. And after the description of the textbook, if they are shy of running, then we can just calling for the Uncle raining. After 30 minutes of downpouring, then we don't have to pass the test of running 800 meters. And if we are going outside of the school, if it becomes a dark days, if the cloud is gray, then if we calling the attentions of the Uncle Sun, then all those dark clouds are pushed away, then how good will it be? What? If you call me lunatics, then you probably just be a little bit less than you probably will be less knowledgeable because around this world there are a lot of places that has conducted a lot of different artificial raining experiments. And besides, from the current progress of a scientific study, in the near future, maybe we can really blow the winds and summon the rains. So after thousands of years, people they can do nothing about the climate. No matter it rains, no matter it gets some typhoons, everything we can only listen to the nature's ordering. Now, if this is the first class about how to conduct it, the changes of weathers, then the following will, is some examples for teachers to ask students as homework. The first one is, hey, you have been 11 years old. You probably have heard about a lot of time of experience of typhoon. Now, if you can remember in which time the experience of typhoon makes me feel so scary, and how was it? Please describe it. This is the first homework after the description of the above. Then the second one is that if you are on vacation during the weekend, it might get boring. So this part, the teacher, he or she could think of someone to help everyone. So please pick up your telephone and you call 4 different classmates, 2 boys and 2 girls from the class, and also trying to visit them, ask them about the most horrible experience about typhoon, and please take notes after you're visiting them. in the following tablets. There are 4 columns of tablets. First one is the name of the classmates. The second one is the time of the visiting, but helpful. And the third one is the questions or discussions of the questions that you have asked your classmates. And the fourth column is that you're feeling. So this is the first class about how to change the climate. Now, the second day, they described the following thing. However, the current condition, it changed. Because of the progress of the science, we have figured out a path for changing the weather, and according to scientists, human being not only can change the weather, but also they could control the weather, maybe manipulate the weather, and if suppose it will be successful, then if we want it to be, if we want the sun comes out, then the sun comes out. If we want it rains, then it rains, even though they will be typhoons. We won't feel scared of it. Okay, so this is after the discussions of children's homework. Now, the teacher might give the following question. Now, imagine that you are Frankston and you can do something like you can control the weather, you can manipulate the weather immediately, like the storm from the X-Men. Oh, then what will you make this word become? So please just write down your fantasy, and then after you write down your fantasy, please just draw this spectacular fantasy by pictures. So this is the during the classes activities that I have suggested for this climate control. Then later on, there's another paragraph. Now, take raining for examples. When will be the ideal time of raining? Many people, they think it better rain during the middle of night, just in case that our daily job won't be bothered or hindered. When it rains in the night, on the second day, the surface of the floor is still humid and there's no dust just floating around, so our health won't be bothered. During the weekend, especially Saturday night and also Sunday night, it better not to rain because there are a lot of people, they want to go shopping, they want to buy something, they want to go to the movies. So if it rains, it's very, very inconvenient. And besides, what's the other case? So, if it's during the holidays or some sports festivals held by the schools, of course, we hope that it won't rain because everyone likes to take advantage of these days, go outdoors, like climbing mountains, rolling boats, or maybe just to uh, buy some tickets to watch some contest like F1 or NBA or some baseball games or basketball games, or maybe we can go to the Wonderland. So if during those plans, if it rains, then it's terrible. Now, after the descriptions of that, they suggest teachers to ask the following 2 questions. Find the top 10 timings that you like, you prefer raining, and please just explain the reasons in detail. The same, find the top 10 timing that you don't like rain mostly, and also explain your reasons. So this is some activities that they suggest teachers to ask students during the class. Now after that, then they will try to ask them, do you think that all this timing after the children sharing about their opinions, maybe writing their opinions on the blackboard or so on, and what do you, or maybe just ask them to speak, then do you think that the above timing is it proper or not? Do you think that all this person are they dreaming? Are they doing some daydreaming? In fact, this is some ideals of scientists, not just the dreaming. And this idea, they believe that sooner or later it will be realized because the rainmaker, the history of rainmaking has been decades, and also there are a lot of successful experience for rain production. And at the same time, for using artificial methods to stop raining, a lot of different countries they are continuing doing some experiments, and also they have improved their results. Now, after that, they suggest the teachers to ask students go to the internet, check out the principles of rainmaking, and also put the records in the following tabloids. And if the children they don't have computers, they can ask, they can go to the library to seek data, find some information, or call the weather channel, or you can just make a telephone call to your classmates. So it's a very normal column of this homework. The first column is the source. The second column is the brief descriptions of the data. And the third column is how you obtained the data. I think that part trying to ask whether it will be some spontaneous procedures for training for young students. Okay. Then after that, they introduce you. Okay, and there another homework after this, the second class. Um, if you again trying to call two other classmates and take care and comparing your results, then what will be the difference of that? And that will be the homework that has been assigned for students, like the following. First, the name of the classroom, classmates. The second is the time of your visiting of them. The third one is the content of your visiting. And the fourth one is that what's the difference between my data and his data? Okay, this will be the second day. What will be the third day of the climate changes? In the third day, they're trying to introduce a spectacular examples by NOAA, NOAA. Now, the third day, they're trying to take examples for preventions of typhoons or using some artificial methods to weaken the power of typhoons, or maybe just make its directions, just change its directions. Somebody has tried, and they take examples from 1961 from the seals, the atmospheric coordinator from the seals, and some of the other climate experts. They try to do a very fantastic show about the Typhoon Heister. During that year, the Typhoon Heister, they just hit the east coast of U.S. After the felicitations of weather experts, they send aircraft with chemistry powders fly above after it reaches to some certain levels of height, they just dropped the chemical powder toward the centers of the storm. And sooner or later, after for a while, there is a hope about the clouds. The wind just slows down too. So, at the beginning, it has been predicted that the typhoon will hit the east coast. They just go toward the other directions of the Pacific Ocean. Now, after these examples of the class, the teacher asks children, please exercising your imagination power. And just imagine that if you are the pilot of this plane, if you just drive it, rush into the storms, especially the very, very furious, windy circling of the typhoons, is it possible that you will be torn apart by this blowing of winds? And if it's possible, then can you just draw the picture of it? Okay, then the conclusion is we hope that the scientists in the near future they could really do the weather control like cloud busting and make this world when we need the winds it comes, when we need the rains it comes too. Okay, after the third days, the homework is that please write a long story about your thoughts of the future. Uh, should be more than 600 words. So this is some examples of the literature of Mandarin studies suggestions for teachers.